Top of the day to you. Thank you very much for purchasing this 6-hour tape set on your personal pharmacy. You may be wondering, really, truly, what is this personal pharmacy? What is he about to tell us? Well, as you know, I'm sure by now, we will be talking about urine and urine therapy. How to utilize your urine in a very pharmaceutical type setting. We will involve you in explaining to you that urine therapy has been used through the last 5,000 years. You may not have heard too much about urine therapy because, in fact, it's really hidden. Not too many people talk about it. Yet, it helps us in our health more than you can ever dream of. Listen to these tapes thoroughly. These tapes will show you and actually change your entire life. If you don't believe in them now, believe me, somewhere down the line, when you will not have the availability of having a doctor, or the doctors will not be able to cure you of certain diseases, you will find that this particular therapy is very quick, one of the fastest therapies to aid you in getting rid of almost all diseases. How could God have made a body and yet not given us something within our body to take away diseases? Diseases are only something that we catch, we magnate to ourselves because of our lifestyle, because of our eating conditions. Urine therapy is called many different things. It's called Shivambu. It's called Manav Mutra. It's called Amaroli. And in Spanish, it's called Urotherapia. Urine, you must understand, is blood. It's blood plasma. The body must release part of this plasma because of the pressure buildup. In your arteries, it can only hold so much pressure, so much liquid. That goes to your kidneys, filtered through. Any toxins get placed in your intestine and then in your colon. In actuality, urine, once it's first voided, is antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. In fact, it's sterile. For the first 10-15 minutes, your urine is capable of washing dishes in many places of the world where they do that. It sounds crazy, but as we go along, you'll find that it's not my conception, it's not my thoughts that are just telling you this. I have learned this from something that I read, and there was only 5 words, and through those 5 words, I started research on this because I could not believe urine therapy existed and that it could be what it is. It is an absolute cure. It makes people young, and many models use it. It makes your hair and your ears and your eyes and your organs free of disease. As we go on, we will find more and more throughout the world how other doctors have written about their past experiences, their past testimonials. First, let's get through our disclaimer. There are certain people in this society that we have to protect ourselves upon because I am not a doctor. I am only a researcher. So this is our disclaimer. Publisher's introduction. The statements made herein are the author's general concepts. We do not claim this book or tape furnishes and finishes accurate information as to an effective treatment or cure of the diseases discussed. And that's according to currently acceptable medical opinion. The author in this compilation has quoted various other authors. He gives their concepts, premises, and general statements. The publisher assumes no responsibility of the statements and for the statements of the various authors herein. Nor will we give out any information on what procedure should be done, but only information on what we have found has already been done and works. We are publishers only, and there is where our responsibility ends. We do not sell any product except our research and will not enter into correspondence regarding what therapy should be used, but only our past research as to what has been followed. Our disclaimer is, in fact, in the event the reader of this volume or tapes uses the information without the approval of a health care provider, he or she is prescribing for himself or herself and assuming full responsibility for it. This is his or her right to do so. But this researcher and the company Award Health Watch assumes no responsibility for his or her actions. This therapy and programs are not offered as an alternative to an orthodox medical, osteopathic, homeopathic, and chiropractic approach to treat diseases, but rather an adjunct to the conventional treatments as a support program that can be used in combination or in addition to other therapies if desired. Good nutrition and alternatives to drugs alone does not oppose or contradict the orthodox form of healing. It in fact complements them. The human body is a very complex organism. Although each person is similar in general structures and function, each is also uniquely different, responding differently to similar stimuli, therapies, and conditions. What may help one person in a certain circumstance or condition may not help another. This is also true of foods, environment, or a particular food that may be nourishing to a healthy person or may cause an allergic reaction to another. Each condition may be unique. Although thousands have had help from natural methods described here, there have been and will be cases where destructive pathological changes are so severe and the body's own healing mechanism so weakened that the process of healing could be an extended process. Persevere, and your hard work will be amply rewarded. This is an important notice. This researcher or Award Health Watch does not diagnose or prescribe. It is not the purpose of this researcher or Award Health Watch, their officers, directors, affiliated health centers, or independent distributors to replace the services of your health care provider. We are educational compilers and researchers for the public education. It should not be misconstrued to mean, imply, or indicate that the therapy or programs described here will cure anything, as no such claims are made. Only the body can heal itself. These therapies and/or nutritional suggestions are not offered as a cure, rather as an aid to the body in reestablishing normal functions. We offer this information along with suggested programs to those who want to and are willing to share responsibility for their own health and their health care provider. Even though the urine therapy remedy processes contain no synthetic drugs, and all urine therapy users are of a total natural and personal resource, we are legally controlled to remind you that you should use this therapy only as directed again by your health care provider. Do not self-diagnose. Do not attempt to treat yourself for any serious conditions. Consult your health care provider. However, if your health care provider says that nutrition or therapy is not important and attempts to treat you only with drugs, we suggest that you obtain a second opinion from a direct, conscious health care provider who more aware of the natural methods of biological medicine, because after all, it is your health. Exactly what is this personal pharmacy? Here are some thoughts to begin to understand urine therapy. 1. Urine therapy is the most primitive and simple form of homeopathic that exists. 2. In China, all possible body secretions are used as medications, and that includes urine. 3. Urine therapy is the mother of all Ayurvedic medicine. 4. In Roman times, during the Roman Empire, urine was so important that the Emperor Suetonius placed a tax on every drop collected in public reservoirs. 5. Leprosy is put into total remission in India by putting small quantities in the orange juice of patients. 6. As will be explained in future pages and future tapes, urine is an antidote for poisons, chemical burns, snakes, snake bites, scorpion bites, or all animal bites. 7. In the 18th century, the French and Germans used cow's urine to control and cure jaundice, sciatica, asthma, edema, and rheumatism. 8. In Germany in the 40s, doctors gave enemas to children exposed to measles and chickenpox. 9. In the mid-60s, Nobel laureate Albert Szent-Györgyi, the same man who discovered vitamin C, isolated a substance called methylglyoxal and has been shown to destroy cancer cells. In 1965, Dr. Edam of Germany recommended that urine therapy is the most effective treatment for morning sickness in pregnancy, and he stated that more doctors definitely should look into this therapy. Number 11. Dr. S. Brzezinski isolated a peptide fraction called antineoplastin from human urine, which has been found to selectively inhibit the growth of cancerous cells without affecting the growth of regular cells. It is at a cost of approximately $21,000 per month. Number 12. In intrauterine development of the fetus, urine takes a great part in the development of the lungs. The fetus liberally breathes the amniotic fluid, which is fetal urine, for this development. 13. Factor S is a hormone found in human urine which safely and naturally induces sleep. 14. The use of urine sprayed on vegetables and fruit gardens will bring fungus and bug-free plants, vegetables, and fruits. 15. Human urine is anti-tuberculostatic, antifungal, antiviral, antiprotozoal, and antibacterial. Number 16. Pergonal. Pergonal is a fertility hormone and is made from the urine of Italian nuns. Number 17. Cosmetic companies are using urine in their beauty lines for decades. Women never know that. 18. Urokinase, a factor of urine, is used in the regulation of the heartbeat. 19. Sexual potency is enhanced by drinking or placing drops under the tongue to reestablish the hormone body balance of the body. 20. Stress is reduced by placing drops under the tongue or drinking urine. 21. Premarin, which is given to millions of women, is derived from pregnant horse urine. There are over 439 farms in Canada and the United States just for that purpose and are producing urine products to give to women in their PS stage of life. This is the time of life when the human hormones would work much to the better of the human female, on the basis that horse urine takes a few years to show definite raise in cancer later in their years. It has been researched that 48% of all women that have been on the drug Premarin, in fact, will have cancer. Wouldn't it be prudent to utilize your own hormone intake that has not originally been used, but that you can reuse it and place it back into your body for reuse? Our blood is the life force of our existence. The blood consists of red corpuscles, hemoglobin carrying the oxygen, and blood serum. This blood serum is 95% water and 5% urine with a mixture of our body hormones, vitamins, and minerals, plus enzymes created by the food that we have consumed and some created by our body. The waste product or excretions, both solid and liquid, that the body no longer can use is vacated by way of the bowels. Those who take alternative vitamins and minerals and pass it out of the system directly into the toilet create expensive waste for their not using their urine as God intended. Urine is not a waste. It is not unhealthy to consume at the proper time. Urine is not dirty. Urine, in fact, is a clean substance. As I said, it is, in fact, naturally sterile, filtered blood plasma. It is 95% water and 5% harmless and most beneficial substances. However, we find that as you read, there are those of you who range from total disgust to instant enthusiasm. It is in fact our own personal, natural, God-given pharmacy. Wash your ears with it warm, and it is good against deafness, infection, and most other ailments of the ears. Wash your eyes with your own water, and it cures sore, tired eyes and clears and strengthens the sight. Urine, a classic over-the-counter for problems of the eyes, M-urine, is in fact mare's urine. Wash and rub your hands with it, and it takes away numbness, chaps, and sores, and makes the joints limber. Wash any green wound with it, and it is an extraordinary good thing. Wash any part that itches, and it takes away the itch right away. All of these were taken from the Water of Life, J.W. Armstrong, Health Science Press, London. Acids in the system are the very root of most diseases in the human body. The salts in the urine, which are naturally 12, destroys these acids. It opens obstructions of the veins and urinary passages, dissolves tartarous coagulations in those parts, breaks and expels stones and gravel. This was also taken from the Water of Life, J.W. Armstrong, Health Science Press, London. It saves doctors from countless mistakes that are made selecting a correct remedy from over 3,000 drugs or the drug of the day that is pushed onto the doctors by way of the pharmaceutical vendors. In the early 1960s, the Nobel Prize winner Albert Zent Georgi isolated 3 methyl glycols in urine. It has now been proven that this very substance destroys cancer cells. The fetus breathes urine into its system, and the lungs cannot develop properly without this liquid. We have been aggressively accepting this liquid into our systems as we developed in our mother's amniotic fluid. Our present doctors in this new 21st century who operate on the embryo within the mother find that the surgical laser cuts made on the embryo during the operation cannot be found after birth. They re-web themselves, and the skin is without scar. Can you now understand how it is so vitally important to use urine on rashes, cuts, scrapes, scratches, as well as those who are with gangrene ready for amputation? There comes a period in each one of our lives where a special window of time will open for you. Many say we will have our 15 minutes of glory. This may be that time slot, because in the next 15 minutes as you read on, you are about to find the most incredible information that will change your ways of life and the way that you were raised to think of society and our own body. You may take this information as not possible to endure, or you may take this information as legitimate and not foolish. But please reconsider centuries of usage. The poor as well as the rich, including kings and queens, elite and the ordinary, the uneducated as well as the highly educated, all keeping themselves of curing themselves for a healthy, extended life in secrecy of their ways. They are curing themselves from simple to incurable diseases as well as preventative health maintenance. Reconsider the hundreds of testimonials from all over the world. Educate yourself with the findings of this research. Use it. God gave it to us for our own personal use. This, with God's will, could be your great day of education. Your window may have just opened as you read to a long, long self-therapy without cost. Prior to birth as an embryo and later a fetus, it was critical to have the embryonic fluid, which consisted of urine, originally from the mother and later then from the baby, or all of our organs would not have developed to their proper healthy completion, especially the lungs. From 2 months on, the development of organs, especially the lungs, were bathed inside and out with this precious commodity, urine. The massive amount of urea, vitamins, minerals, enzymes, hormones flowed through our embryonic body to fetal stage. We were floating in a panacea of fresh pharmacopoeia. If we had a need to have an operative procedure done by our body within the mother by way of laser, by the time of parturition the incision would never be found. Yes, because of the urea and salts within the urine, our skin would have webbed itself to a new form of covering without scars or blemish. This same holds true outside the body as children or adults to the completion of our time in this life. If we would be 5 or 50 years old and would incur a cut, gash, bruise, by placing urine on a piece of gauze or cotton and placing it topically, consistently wet for a few days, we will find a growth of skin covering quickly and completely as if infant new. If we have diabetes or gangrene with a urine compress, we will have grown new tissue rapidly. At birth, the umbilical cord is cut, and we are now on our own. Our pharmacy becomes closed. Now, dependent on our parents' upbringing of urine knowledge, we will enjoy the natural workings of our private pharmacy at will, or we will fall to the ravages of medical chemical bondage for life, as those of us have done. With this urine knowledge, the child will consume a few drops per day as in a homeopathic condition, and the body could receive constant vaccinations against any and all medical invasion of virus or disease. We have been told that urine is an excretion or toxic waste from our body. This is not so. Consider the body's separate wastes, both liquid and solids, and those wastes end up in the intestines and colon. Blood serum, however, is released from the blood because of the body no longer having a need to utilize additional vitamins, minerals, hormones, enzymes, only at that time. The body has quantity sufficient at that time, and also dependent on your liquid intake, the body may have a need to reduce the blood pressure within the circulatory system, therefore releasing the blood serum to the kidneys for filtration and onto the bladder ready for discharge. That discharge, when voided, is in fact sterile. That liquid called urine is again full of vitamins, minerals, hormones, enzymes, urea, salts that have been orally consumed by our body, self-created, such as with melatonin, vitamin B12, etc. I will go through a total valuation of all the complexities of worth that is in urine in the following audio tapes. The urine that we joke about for being a very expensive liquid for those who consistently and conscientiously take vitamins and minerals is correct, for we only utilize 20% of the intake and the balance is voided. Now, however, with this therapy method, you can reuse and get complete benefit. Again, urine is not toxic. Urine is sterile. I cannot impress and say that enough. Upon voiding, it is sterile unless your body is full of recreational, medical, and antibiotic chemicals. Our urine is more acceptable for use in a mass of different ways and methods, as we will find out in the reading and listening in the following pages and tapes. Urine, when first voided, is opened to oxygen and then comes in contact with bacteria. For the first 10-15 minutes while warm, it in fact kills all bacteria. Once it cools, 15 minutes after voiding, it should not be taken internally but only used externally. For the bacteria then utilize the urine almost in fact like a petri dish. Your urine should always be saved with a closed container so the fermentation is minimized. Hence the obnoxious odor. The flavor of urine is dependent how your pH is from your consumption of meats, dairy products, sugars, alcohol, sodas, and other heavy carbohydrates which place your blood cells in an acidic state. If and when you become a urine practitioner, you will find whatever you consume is not to your best interests and will create a bitter taste in your urine. If you are a diabetic and consume the above acid pH foods, your urine will become very sweet to a gag state. In the early 1900s, doctors actually tested for diabetes their patients by tasting that patient's urine. All said and done, your urine is not an excretion, as you have been told. Again, it is your God-given pharmacy. Again, it is not dirty, as you have been told. It is sterile when first voided. Again, your urine is not a waste. It is your blood serum. How could toxins be within your blood? Then finally filtered by millions of nephrons in your kidneys, to even refine them further. I have visited many countries to educate myself in this research and found some countries accept clinics for the curing of the many without insurance or economic substance. Other countries, doctors once going on television to educate the public on this therapy are told to stop or die. Yes, there are medical doctors, MDs, even oncologists, urologists, other surgeons, blood chemists, etc. I have talked with them. Some I can no longer talk with because they're dead. They have received phone calls after their television talk show and then shortly after have had phone calls and been told to cease and desist the public education of urine therapy. Those who persisted, they died. Great medical men, surgeons. One of my friends in Mexico was giving conferences for years in churches approved by the clergy and told to their parishioners of the date and time and that it was free. She did these conferences for years. When she accepted a spot on talk television, the following conference date, she was escorted by the local authorities out of the church in the middle of the conference and told never to speak on that subject again. She then opened her own conference office and soon received a phone call that her life would be in jeopardy if she insisted to continue. She feels God is on her side and it is needed to help the poor and the uninformed. I pray for her, for she will not quit and involves herself deeply. She is a dedicated person to open a clinic in her city. Free cost to all, especially those who the medical doctors have told they have no longer help and that they should give up their papers and put their papers in order. I have heard direct from patients personally and have video recordings of cancer patients showing x-rays, medical records, and the findings and released to go home and die. Today they are confined and confirmed urine practitioners for their cancers dissolved in weeks, some in months, with confirming backup records that the cancer no longer exists and that was all done without surgery, only urine therapy. This has been a challenge for me. 2 years ago when I first heard of this in a book of only 6 words to this therapy, I brought myself to ask, what the hell am I reading here? My dedication and research and actually seeing firsthand the uncompromising results that creates healthy people from incurables, I now believe. It is fascinating how cuts, ripped skin, gangrene flesh becomes healthy in days to weeks without scars. Youth returns back to wrinkled facial skin by many of the models. ADD children become reasonable. Sleep is an attainable condition. A reserved personality changed from a AAA aggressive attitude. Women with PMS mellow within 48 hours. Hair becomes silky in one night. Tired eyes become white and interesting. Prostate problems resolved without operative procedures. Arthritis, including rheumatoid arthritis, reversed. Parasites within the body killed and expelled. Constipation, which is the beginning possibility of cancer, no longer a problem, and on and on and on. Doug Kaufman, a radio and television health talk researcher, always said, "If you do what you always have done, you will get what you always got." And also, if you find a good horse, ride it. Hello again, and thank you for coming back. We are on Tape 1, Part B, and let's get into it immediately because we've got a lot to cover on this side of the tape. Again, application of urine therapy. As a fetus, everybody has ingested urine. Number one factor in the utilization and application is washing. Wash the exterior of the body, including of washing your hair, and use a shower cap during sleep. Also the washing of the face, neck, hands, and any body part that you have a need to be clean and kept soft, pliable, and aiding in the loss of wrinkles. Next morning you will see your hair shine, your face feel new, skin tight, radiant, and that was only the first day. My suggestion is 2 or 3 weeks in a row, first time straight. After, you may go 1 week on and 1 week off. Any moles, scrapes, cuts, freckles that you may want to reduce in size and color or possibly even lose, then use every night continually until you reach your goal. Black folks have called to tell me of their skin lightens as well as tightens in the 30-day period. For those who are diabetic and have bruises or cuts that won't heal, moisten as many times per day the area that you would have this problem. At night, place a wet, thin gauze pad on top of your scrapes and cuts. If there are on your feet, wear your socks on top of the gauze and put into ready for wash area in the morning. If you get up during the night, then again wet and reuse. It will cut your time for new skin developing from 1 month to 1 week. If you are in serious condition and it would normally take 6 months, I'm sure that your development time will be cut down approximately to only 4 to 6 weeks. This is not only research. I was a diabetic myself and had cuts and bruises. I know. I went through that particular system. Shower in the morning or wash your face and body parts with water only. Soap is not necessary, and it is contraindicated for plush skin. We will get into the use of fresh urine as a cologne or perfume later. This is not the greatest part of the therapy, but it's an option. It can be used. A slap of new fresh warm urine will bring out the pheromones from your body, and this is what the cosmetic companies have been trying for years to perfect. They can't do so personally, it's your pheromones that do the sexual attraction, and it must be used warm as it comes out of your body. We are all animals still, and it will bring out the animal in you. Some women have used their perfume with drops of warm, fresh urine added to it. A few drops will do, don't go crazy. Yeah, I understand you're thinking, what a jerk. Don't try it then. I know a lot of women and men that have tried it, and it sure as heck works. Remember, fresh, warm, few drops, and bingo, check it out. For this one, I'm sure you will not tell your best girlfriend. Remember, your life should not always be an open book. The second part of application is drinking. Yeah, thinking he is serious? You bet I am. This is where it gets scientific, medicinal, and pharmaceutical. Companies get really pissed off more than you know because we get our pharmaceuticals free and naturally and never toxic to our system, never, unless we are using drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, or recreational drugs. Plus, we are not guessing at what's wrong. We take our liquid in the morning, and what we can't use in our body immediately gets expelled for the new body assimilation later in the day. However, this time the body is recreating a host of vitamins, enzymes, minerals itself, and from the foods we have consumed already the reabsorption into our cells from the drinking. There are more than a dozen hypotheses relating to this reabsorption. Let's look at a few. 1. Nutrients. By drinking or massaging with urine, we possibly reuse or reabsorb many vitamins, salts, amino acids, hormones, and so forth as nutrients. That includes vitamin B1, thiamine, vitamin B2, riboflavin, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, and many, many others. Second factor in urine is hormones. Hormones are powerful molecules which, once produced, can cause complete alteration in the balance of the body processes, personality, emotions, and state of mind. After we reach 40 to 50 years of age, there may be a hormonal imbalance which now in this new age are millions and millions of women given Premarin, a prescription drug short for pregnant mare urine. Yes, you read correctly and heard correctly. Pregnant female horse urine. So why pay big bucks for animal hormone urine, or hormone therapy they call it, when you can not only have human hormone therapy, but your own selected personal therapy? You won't be in that statistic that 48% of all females that take Premarin increase the possibility of having breast cancer. With this self-therapy, we should also be aware of a hormone called melatonin. This powerful anti-cancer human hormone, availing also a very easy method for falling asleep and an aid for jet lag. The pills that we are sold in the nutritional stores are normally hormonal extracts from pigs. Also, let's not forget dopamine, insulin, corticosteroids, gonadotropin, prolactin, vasopressin, thyroxine, adrenaline, testosterone, progesterone, and many, many others. Let me say at this time, it is suggested to use your first urination in the morning after you get up. The reason is that the enzymes and hormones are more concentrated and collected all night long. The method for collection is do not drink the first 20% because that part is full of oil and bile. Do collect the center portion for drinking. The last 20% may have sediment, so drink the middle. So only the central portion, warm immediate after releasing, should be drunk. Never drink that which has been left open to the air for a time after 15 minutes. This is when the bacteria originate in the urine and multiply quickly. The third part of the factor of application is enzymes. Many enzymes are contained in urine. Protease, beta-N acetylglucosaminidase, alpha amylase, lysozyme. This gives great explanation to why urine therapy is effective against strokes, heart attacks, arteriosclerosis, embolism, and etc. One enzyme called urokinase, again, is well known for its vasodilation and resembles nitroglycerin and its ability to strengthen the arteries. Urokinase is extracted from urine and brought into the medical marketplace on a large scale. Again, American company that I have told you before has developed a special filter that collects the proteins and has 10,000 porta-johns. This collection of urine and the transition of urokinase give an annual market sales of $500 million from unsuspecting donors. Fourth step and protocol used in urine is urea. Urea in amniotic fluid is partly urine from the fetus and the other part from the mother. Starting in the second month, it is essential for proper development of the pulmonary system. Urea also affects the brain and central nervous system. Utilization of urea is sometimes used during brain surgery to minimize pressure on the brain and spinal cord. Chiropractors, as well as myself, are fully aware of the health problems caused by the pressures of subluxations from the spinal column and pressures on the brain. Urea tends to shrink the spinal column and brain before reducing this pressure. Urea is an oxidation substance. It dissolves fats and other natural body secretions. Urea is also more effective when warm and when heated. Next is salts in the urine. The drinking of salts, as urine is by nature a salt solution, is an important therapeutic remedy. It relieves such problems as constipation, asthma, stomach ulcers, indigestion, and elimination of certain parasites. Next is our immune system. Urine is not toxic. However, there may be some toxic substances in urine available in small amounts. especially if someone is in contact with a new disease and does not know it is or is ill. We will talk more of this under the definition of homeopathy and the laws of similars. There are the medically active substances in infinitesimal doses. Natural vaccines understand that when we drink our urine, we may give us that added vaccine needed to starve off the next coming flu, virus, AIDS, plague, or whatever the governments of this world may unleash on this mass population. What a grand way to fight naturally against mass infectious warfare. You can now be ready for the inevitable. Your pharmacy is actually at hand. Let's talk now of bacteria, virus, and fungus. Urine has a germicidal and antiseptic effect against bacteria, virus, fungus, and many parasites. So does ammonia and salt. It is also known that urine placed on a scrape, cut, bruise prevents infection and keeps flies away in warmer climates. Scientific research has demonstrated that both urea and ammonia have a powerful effect on viruses and bacteria. Let's consider us how to drink our urine. In children, take 2 or 3 times a day with juice, chocolate, milk, or lemonade. Think it up. Whatever you can think of, give it to your child that way. Make your kid happy. It's up to you when you break the news. Remember, you need to collect it, and when he gets older, they are smart. Why not just tell them up front that their life pharmaceutical and the secret of most is of necessity? You know that they are the privileged ones, that their pharmaceutical is being used, and many other children do not know this because, in fact, it is a secret. If they tell their friends, I'm sure that they will get blasted. Not being told by their parents, however, direct, may make this a crime if not told perfectly proper. As to adults, go for it pure if you can. Straight. Come on. It's blood plasma. That's all it is. If not, start out with a few drops in juice or water or under your tongue. Build up to an ounce, and later a couple ounces to the whole release complete. Now let's talk about the uses throughout the world again. In India, where purified water was at a minimum, especially in the small villages, many have told me by those who lived in India and who visit often that many wash their bodies, hair, dishes with urine from cows. Urine is, as I have told you, when fresh out of the human or animal, it is absolutely sterile. Therefore, the best form of washing possible. It is even better than the tap water that we release from our tap right now, full of chemicals. Of course, the curing and softening of hands without the harshness of soaps are an additional benefit to us. In the Persian Mideast countries, the nomads of the desert have had minimal water available for drinking. They wash themselves in camel's urine. It is the same, pure, sterile way of cleaning our human body. It is a different method never taught in schools here in the United States. Nevertheless, it is their way, a sociological way proper for their country. If you think that those countries do have that type of therapy because they are backward third countries, then let's look at now Holland. Holland is the first in recreational drug legalization. Marijuana is being sold at local coffee shops with menus for the different types of marijuana flavors, strengths, and imports from other countries. Holland now is the only country in the world that has legalized euthanasia. That is to say, the legalization of the ending of one's life, legally. Holland also has, in some, not all restrooms, special dispensers for those who use urine therapy on a daily basis. Urine therapy has also been used back 2,000 years ago in empires such as China, Greece, and the Roman Empire, including the times of Christ. Eskimos, American Indians, Mexican Indians, and the indigenous of South America and the indigenous people of Australia also used urine therapy. It permeates the countries of Bulgaria, Germany, Romania, Austria, and I am sure many others that this research has not even traveled to as yet. So you see, urine therapy has been here for time beginning. It was only society and its misleading information that holds back this information and self-help to all of you in the name of money. Then the last thing that's in our urine is the miscellaneous. There are many other beneficial substances that are found in urine, and therefore the hypothesis of the availability to reuse and aid the body shows tangible evidence in the testimonials that make it shown that these substances in fact were present and refunctioning after drinking. Let's now talk about these things that are within urine. Urine contains proteins, IgG, IgA, IgM, albumin, transferrin, and many others. Carbohydrates, very useful while fasting. Fructose, glucose, galactose, lactose, saccharose, ribose, and others. Also, glutenins and precipitins, neutralizing effect on polio and other viruses. Also, antineoplastins. This prevents growth of cancer cells while not harming normal cells. Again, Dr. Brzezinski of Texas, lifelong work and winning countless court cases for his clinic in the curing of cancer. His main ingredient is antineoplastins. Next, let's talk of L-tonin, an oxidation product of uric acid which can be found in many cosmetics, skin creams, and aids in wound healing. Next, urine is full of DHEA. DHEA is high levels in the body that shows an anti-aging factor. Gives gastric secretory depressions, aids in reduction of ulcers. H11 is a factor that inhibits growth of cancer cells or reduces existing tumors. Next is HUD, human urine derivative. It's anti-cancer. Next is prostaglandin. It lowers blood pressure and stimulates labor contractions. Next is proteosis, a relationship to allergic reaction. Next is retin. It's anti-cancer. One of the factors of the use of urine is massaging. Massaging along with drinking is the therapy that you should engage yourself if you have a disease, whether curable or uncurable. Time is of the essence and must be directly and aggressively addressed. You must see the skin as an organ that takes in as well as expels. Therefore, if your disease warrants the drinking to infiltrate the internal cells for beneficial aid, the massaging also has its place to enter parts of the body that are so hard to get to. In parts of the world where full urine clinics are inviting the incurables, the daily time of massaging will be anywhere from 2 to 4 hours per day. Extreme results from beginning massaging will be 4 to 8 hours a day. The use of one's own urine is favored. If one cannot produce enough for the daily need, another human can produce for the massage of another. Fasting is one of the most important factors of urine. For many of the diseases, curable and incurable, the best aggressive therapy would be fasting. That is to say, drinking 100% of your urine except for the first release being the middle of the release. Fasting daily with water at room temperature only for as many days as your body can appreciate this method of cleaning out your system. Some start with offering your food intake by way of minimizing intake of the solids through 3 days to juice liquids, and finally going for 3 to 4 days on fasting complete. Eating nothing, not even a spoonful of honey. You do not give any energy to your body whatsoever. Reason, if you have parasites in your system that is part of the disease, you want to starve out these particular particles of nature. You want to kill every parasite. And in the 3rd or 4th day, you will find yourself having a diarrhea. And when you look in the bowl, they will be there. They will still be moving. Fasting daily with water at room temperature is mainly for the purposes of not infringing upon your body for cold or hot water. Days with no food, then back up to the juice later, and soft food to a regular and hopeful better diet. You must do this every month, 3 to 4 days of fasting, and you will be healthy for the rest of your life. Some with a serious diabetic problem have gone for 3 to 4 weeks fasting completely without solids. You must understand the body goes to disease because of the foods that we have eaten as well as environmental conditions. I believe that a period of 3 days would be beneficial to start and move again, then that every month start with 3 or 4 days of fasting. I must tell you that it is my obligation to advise you to do this under the direction of an allopathic doctor. Now that I have said that, try to get the allopathic to lose his future business. That's the hard part, because he knows that if you do this, he will have a reduction in client number. He will tell you everything under the sun that this is nuts. Let's now talk and understand the savor or flavor or taste of the fasting with urine. If your urine is acidic, it's because it's detoxifying, and that's what's happening within the body. If it is bitter, this is when you're sick. Now you will really know. Change your eating habits later. No meat, sugar, flour, or milk products, but keep on fasting at this time. If it is salty, slightly salty, this is best. This is normal. If it is very salty, you're not drinking enough water. Remember, you should drink 2 quarts per day minimum, 8 glasses. And I consider it that every 50 pounds you should drink 1 quart for every 50 pounds of body weight. If your urine is sweet, consider yourself a diabetic. Get yourself one of these testing kits and start finding out if you're a diabetic. In gargling, you gargle 3 to 5 minutes each day. Repeat as many times as possible. In drops, apply 2 to 3 drops of fresh urine from an eyedropper. It is great for eye itching, red eyes, tired eyes, cataracts, and also many ear infection, ear diseases, especially in your children of every age. Next, soaking. Practice urine or place urine in a basin and soak the feet for 15 to 20 minutes daily until condition you are treating is completely gone. That includes athlete's foot, corns, blisters, fungus, bubbles on the bottom of your feet. Personally, I have known a friend that had corns for 25 years. She tried and tried, and after she tried and considering for 25 years she had been trying all kinds, including these little donut-type things from the store that you buy. She soaked for 30 minutes only the first night, and in the morning when taking a shower, she felt the corn just melt off. Almost 20 to 25% of that corn came off at the first soaking of 30 minutes for corns. Later soaking completed the entire corn. You can believe that 25 years of misery was gone in hours. Can you imagine that? It might take some people days, depending upon how hard the corn is. Next is packing. Wet gauze or cotton with urine and pack the infected area. That includes for pest bites, bee stings, wounds, snake bites, scratches, cuts, abrasions, etc. Injections. 1 bottle contains 5 grams of 100 cc of purified ingredients from 7,000 cc of urine. Administered by IV infusion after mixing with Ringer solution. Cancer prevention and therapy and all others with grave illness, that's what you should use it for. Enemas. Use 20% urine, 80% water. Great for colitis, intestinal pain, hemorrhoids, colon problems of all natures. Douching. When vaginal and uterine infections and diseases are within your body, douching with urine is used to relieve discomfort and to heal. Soaking in a bath. That's in a bath of warm water. Filter so that the chlorine will not penetrate your skin. Add approximately 2 gallons of saved urine over the last 2 weeks, mixed with bath water. No soap, no other detergents or whatever shampoos you will use. Just the urine water. You will find that your skin will absorb the majority of this into your organs, and the outside of your skin and your whole body that's soaked in there will be very, very fresh and soft. Heated urine to the body temperature by way of placing urine in one container and placing container in hot water. This old urine massage therapy is for external use for swellings, pains, and other problems for quick relief. Example, massage of joints where arthritis is painful should be used in this method. You may also boil urine. This may be used for some applications like massages and compresses, and it is a form of concentrating the urine by evaporation of some of the water to stop fermentation. I'd like to say that at this time there are no reported negative side effects ever that we have heard of the use of urine in the entire world. However, urine therapy should not be used with allopathic drugs or recreational drugs at any level. Let's again now consider the functions of urine. 1. Urine has agglutinins and precipitants. These have a neutralizing effect on viruses and polio. It also contains anti-neoplastin that we've talked about before. That prevents cancer cell growth without harming the growth of healthy cells. It also has allotonin. This is a nitrogenous crystal substance that helps heal wounds. It's an oxidation product of uric acid, now found in many skin creams. The DHEA that we talked about, this ingredient produced by the body is a steroid secreted by the adrenal glands, which can be found in great amounts of the male urine. This substance may prevent obesity, prolongs the lifespan of animals, and offers a positive treatment of anemia, diabetes, and breast cancer in women. DHEA stimulates the growth of bone marrow and increases the production of substances manufactured by bone marrow, such as red blood cells, monocytes, macrophages, and lymphocytes. A low DHEA level is linked to aging. Urine also includes gastric depressants. They combat the beginning and growth of stomach ulcers. It contains glucuronic acid. This glucuronic acid creates in many organs as the liver, kidneys, and intestinal tract, which gives important secretional functions. It has within H11. H11 inhibits and or stops the growth of cancer cells and reduces already existing tumors. Urine has HUD, human urine derivative. HUD is anti-cancerous. Urine also includes interleukin. Interleukin influences on inhibiting cells and macrophages in signaling the hypothalamus to produce a fever. Urine also has 3-methylglyoxal. 3-methylglyoxal has cancer cell destroyers. Urine also has prostaglandin. Prostaglandin, a hormonal constituent relating to metabolism. It is a blood vessel dilator and lowers blood pressure, relaxes the bronchial muscles, stimulates labor contractions. Urine also has protein globulin, which are antibodies against specific allergens. Urine also has protease, an immunological product of allergic reactions. Urine also has retin, an anti-cancer factor taken from urine. Urine has urea. Urea is an active factor in spinal column and brain size reduction. Again, prior to brain surgery, injection of urea is given for the stabilization and shrinkage of tissue. Urine also has within polypeptide, which shows tuberculostatic activity. Urine also has within uric acid, which is a free radical scavenger, combats old age, dissolves cancer cells, and has a tubular cholestatic effect. Again, urine has within urokinase, which gives a reabsorption of enzymes, metabolic pacing of the heart, plus whatever supplements that could not be used immediately. Have you ever thought about Asian women, over 2 million Japanese, 3 million Chinese, countless Philippines, Vietnamese, and Koreans that say, "I care for my skin and hair naturally"? For skin, you will find that your radiance will show in 24 to 48 hours, wrinkles will shrink, and in the first 48 hours to 3 months, with minimum of 5 days per week usage, dark or age spots will start vanishing quickly. Moles, birthmarks may lighten or vanish depending upon growth and age. As to your hair, your sheen will become brilliant in a few days. Manageability should come in a week. Your gray hair should be gone in 6 months. Eyes should have a new warm urine-soaked cotton pads placed on the eye sockets and left for 10 to 15 minutes. This will tighten your skin around your eyes and under, so you will no longer have bags or rid you of crow's feet without plastic surgery. Cataracts have been shown to dissolve if you allow some drops to fall into the eyeball 3 times a day. Please understand that depending upon how acidic or salty your urine is and how old it is by minutes will determine whether there will be a stinging feeling in the eye. Just remember, there have been found no future problems if the urine is used warm or new. Only a stinging sensation when over 10 minutes or salty because of eating meat or drinking alcohol, sodas, or sugars will exist. Yes, I have almost forgot, if you have breathing constrictions, asthma, just put your nose close to a cup of urine and sniff the aroma. Or better yet, use a new spray from a mist bottle, or put a few drops into the nasal passage by way of a pipette dropper or a cotton ball, or just lay down and squeeze it into your nasal passages. Again, lastly, do you need soft hands? Wash them every morning after you showered off your nightcap and facial. Remember, you need not use soap or shampoos on your face, hands, or hair. Just rinse off with urine. It's sterile, it's clean, it's free, and it's as natural as you can get. Now, the washing of your hands in the morning and also evening will give you very soft skin to the touch, actually in 1 week. Unless you are an auto mechanic, you might give it 2 weeks. Just keep the understanding of when you were totally submerged in your amniotic fluid before birth. Now let's talk of the craziness, the creme de la creme. As you read, you will not believe till you try. Many cosmetic companies have tried. I can't release names of those produce this, but many products or creams are urine derivatives. Just slap a few warm new urine on your face as a cologne or a perfume. The skin match will allow your pheromones to go into high drive. This is something all cosmetic companies have tried to do for decades. They never could because all skin hormones release is different from different people. It's totally private. Different strokes for different folks. All personal. All dedicated scents. Pheromones are hormone releases that attract the opposite sex. So yes, if you mix a few drops of urine with a few sprays of your cologne, you will have, in fact, your own God-given perfume. Thank you very much for listening. This is the end of Side B, tape number 1. See you back on tape 2.